correspondent, Navan Singh Khadka, who knows this area incredibly well. And can I start with that? Just describe to us the terrain and this part of Nepal and Tibet that we're talking about.
So you see, this is like, imagine Tibet, the plateau, and the Himalayas, from where all these rivers snake through and then flow down into Nepal. And mind you, Nepal is where almost 60% of the Ganges, the Ganga river catchment, comes from during dry season. So imagine so many rivers. So this particular river we're talking about is also one of those tributaries, ultimately going down to the Ganges. Now, the thing is, it's not plain land. Ganges is in a plain land. This is all difficult terrain. You know, all those mountains, towering mountains, rocks and boulders and whatnot. And then now what we're seeing is all these different kind of disturbances. Again, like, nobody is going to tell us what actually happened. I'm still trying to find out. There are conflicting claims. Xinhua, the Chinese news agency, has called it mudslide. Now, that is slightly, we are still wondering what that means. But there are conflicting claims about what actually happened.
Can I just get you to back up on that? Why will there be these conflicting claims? Why might we not ever know what's actually happened here, Nathan?
First of all, it's a very difficult terrain. You don't know. It's very remote. All the mountains, towering mountains. So it's very difficult to assess because there are no boots on the ground. And B, what scientists, glaciologists, hydrologists are telling me, because of monsoon, the clouds are hovering around, so the satellite can't penetrate and show us. That is there. But even then, some of those glaciologists are telling me that it might be a case where rocks and ice avalanches went down, blocked the river, and that river got impounded, and then there was almost 50 meters of dam, that got built. That was burst out. Now, again, that is just a theory. We still need to wait. Whereas still some others are saying it could be a case of Glacial Lake outburst flood. Last year, just quickly, around the same place, glacial lakes were involved. But the question is, we have no idea. The question, the most important question now is this being monitored? Is this being communicated? That is the big question now. Whenever things like this happen, these are the questions that come up.
When you mentioned last year, we should remind our viewers 18 people died after a glacier burst on the Chinese side of the border, right? That's what happened last year. So how much communication is there going to be right now between the Nepali government and officials and the Chinese?
So as of now, when I'm speaking to officials and even, independent authorities, they are saying that they are not getting anything as such from the Chinese side, just very, very informally. And they are saying that it could be the case of ice and rock avalanche. It could be. Again, it's very, very difficult to get. Like I said, the Chinese news agency has said mudslide and full stop. What that means, again, we are scratching our head what that means. But then again, in the wake of climate change, all this accelerated melting of glaciers, mountains becoming weak and unstable, what the mountains unleash down there, this is becoming very important. Why? And not to forget quickly again, earthquake. Some are also associating this with an earthquake. We don't know for sure if it was earthquake, but there was an earthquake around 4.5 Richter scale at somewhere nearby area. Is that a trigger? Is it not? We're yet to know.
And just briefly, how has the monsoon been this year as well?
Well, monsoon has, to be honest, in some places it has been devastating, in some not. El Nino has yet to, we are seeing that El Nino, because of El Nino, it's been less strong, less, deficit rainfall in some places. But then again, floods and landslides are regular phenomena. It's not been that devastating, but this one, what's happened, is definitely a big thing.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Navan. Just all of that context is so interesting and so important, and I know you're making more calls and we're trying to establish exactly what has happened. Stay with us. We're going to bring you more on this story, of course, around the world and across the UK. This is BBC News.